Okay, so those are contours. Now we did a series of pockets. Those don't need to be done over. Then we have our 2D contour here, which would be to cut, if we look at it, we've got this little tab here that needs to be machined. So from the side we're on, that right now is solid. Okay, so we're going to take, this was the pocket we don't need to do. Then we got this contour here we need to duplicate. So we're going to highlight it. We're going to go right click. We're going to copy. We're going to come down to the op 2. And then we're going to paste. And then we need to regenerate that on this side of the part. So we're going to go edit. We're going to go to geometry. We're going to clear the selection that was on the other side of the part. We're going to select the tab that is on this side of the part. Make sure the arrow's on the inside of the arc. And at this point, we might actually want to hide the soft jaws to see what we're actually cutting. Okay, on the heights tab, we're going to select a contour, so that's good. Our passes, we're going to leave all that default. It should be the same depth as the other side. And our linking tab, we're going to leave everything at default. Okay, so now we've got the cut on the inside of there. We've already machined around the outside of the part, so we don't need to do that. If we look at our op 1, so we did our facing, our adaptive, we've done our pockets, we did our trace, we did the contour on the inside. This contour on the outside is already cut all the way around the part, so we don't need to do that. Now we're at the chamfering routines. So let's start with chamfer 1, and then hold the shift key down on your keyboard and grab all of those, all the chamfers. And then we're going to right click and we're going to go copy. We're going to select op 2, right click, and we're going to paste. So we have a list of all our chamfers in order that we need to do on the opposite side. Now here the selection is going to perhaps maybe different than what I did on the other side. Okay, so let's go for the first chamfer. We're going to go edit. And we went deepest first. So that chamfer was this edge here alone. So we're going to keep everything default. We're going to go to geometry. And on my previous selection, I was able to select the bottom of the chamfer. That might not work. We will see. So clear. Now we're going to select the chain option over here. Allows us to do an open chain, so we're not going all the way around. And then we're going to just pick the one little edge there. And then we're going to hit OK. And then we're on our heights. This all should be default. This should be all default. And this should be all default. Let's hit OK and see what it does. And it did it. Okay. It's not really diving into there like that. This is all relieved out. So it's only cutting on the chamfer edge. All right, let's go to our next one. Okay, this routine was cutting the chamfer on the other side of this hole. So let's regenerate that one. Edit, regenerate. And everything stays default there. It looks like I selected the bottom of the chamfer. So we're going to follow suit there. Arrow should be on the inside. Default, default, default. Hit OK. All right, so we got our next chamfer. Now we're going to do this one. That was the chamfer of the inside rim of this, minus this part. So we're going to go edit, go to the geometry tab, and you see how it's an open chain. So we're going to clear that. And we're going to pick on chain, and we're going to go to open chain. We're going to select on the bottom, but we want to go to an open chain. So I'm selecting the bottom edge, and the chain wraps around. Hit OK. Heights tab, as long as it says selected contours, we're good. We're going to go to passes, leave that at default. Linking, leave that at default. Hit OK. And we now have the chamfer around that edge. Alright, I believe we only have 2 more left. We're going to go to the chamfer that goes around the outside rim. Edit. Leave this at default. Geometry. I picked the appears to be lower edge, so we're going to clear that. Select the lower edge. And again, this is at the time this is recorded, so we've had problems with the chamfer tool. Sometimes you can't select the bottom edge, you got to do the top edge. So you do what works. Okay, we're going to go to the heights. We're going to leave these at default. Passes, default. Linking tab, default. Hit OK. Alright, we have one left, and it's the chamfer on these top edges. Okay, so on this one, I had to select the top. I couldn't select the bottom. So we're going to go to Edit, go to Geometry. We're going to clear the selection. We're going to go to Open Chain. Get our first selection. That's interesting. Okay, and then we go to our heights. As long as it says selected contours, that's at default. Passes, default. Linking, default. Hit OK. And we get as much of the chamfer as it will cut. Okay, that's it for programming ADV4700306-1 part. So make sure you make your setup sheets that show the part in the orientation with origin, how it should be set up. We got to see this axis now, and you'll need to make everything visible again so that you can see it. So you should have 3 programs and 3 sets of setup sheets for this part. All right. Thanks for listening, and catch you on the next one.